What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Teacher Willie here for another English live stream, which is not as often as I do the Portuguese live streams. But because Tarantine really wanted one, I decided that I would do another English live stream tonight. So as you can see by the title, tonight I am going to talk about gerunds after prepositions in English. First of all, what is a gerund? A gerund is the ing ending that most often indicates action. So I am going to eat is also used as the future, going. I am eating means I am in the act of eating generally. So we have the ing ending that is most often used as action. It can also be used when we are talking about an activity. So for example, swimming. In English, we use the gerund to indicate a noun, which is the activity, swimming, the activity of biking, the activity of pretty much fishing. Almost all of the activities that we talk about in English also come from the gerund ending. Okay, so that's what the gerund is. It's the ing. It's also what we use in Portuguese as ando, endo, indo. Now, the reason that I wanted to do this live stream today is because there is some confusion because the rule in English is different than the rule in Portuguese. When we talk about having a verb and then having a verb that follows a preposition. So when we have, for example, this cake is for, in Portuguese, it would be this cake is for to eat if it followed the same rule. Esse bolo é para comer. Where in English, the rule is that after a preposition, we have the gerund. So this cake is for eating. This song is for singing. Okay, so the rule is just different. And why is it that way? It just is. That's just one of the things that Portuguese went in one way where we use the infinitive, and English went another way where we use the gerund. Thank you for coming, the people that are here now. If you could please give us a thumbs up for this video. It will put this video in front of more people while we're here on the live stream, and also will help us to get more likes and views when we are done with the live stream. So, what else do I want to talk about when we talk about this? The reason there's also more confusion is that after we know that after the preposition we use the gerund, there is some confusion because we have 5 tos in English. And at times, to is a preposition, and at times, to is simply part of the infinitive. So that's something else that causes some confusion. So for example, I'm going to the United States. To is a preposition. When I talk about I am going to eat, it means eu vou comer. Or here in that case, to is part of the infinitive and is not a preposition. So when we have things like going to or want to eat, want to do, want to go, when we have those constructions, we don't have the rule where after the preposition is the gerund, because in this case we already have to as part of the infinitive and not a preposition. So there is no preposition in play, so we don't need to worry about using the preposition and then the gerund. So I hope that helps. If you have any confusion about that, go ahead and send us a message. Let's see who's here and what's going on. Double D's first here. Hello, Willie. Happy Teacher's Day. Thank you very much. Vania is back. Welcome back, Vania. Good evening. How are you? Vitor's here. Hey, Vitor. Hi, good evening, Jean. Selma's here. Boa noite. Good evening. Roni, good evening, everybody. Happy Teacher's Day from Vitor. Thanks, V. Alexandre, good evening, guys. Jean with cakes. I think that's for Teacher's Day. Good evening. Happy Teacher's Day. Thank you, Sarah. Hi, Willie. I'd like to have your email so that we could exchange. So, Gesualdo, in your message, you say, hi, Willie, I'd like to have your email so that we could change ideas. Change means trocar, but it means change what we think, and not, if I'm giving you something, you're giving me something, then we use exchange instead of change. Change means it would be like a change where we have like a 180-degree change, where exchange is something's going to you and something's coming to me. Yeah, there you go. So that's exchange. And it's profwillybrasil, Willy with a Y, Brazil with an S at gmail.com. Feel free to email me there and we can exchange ideas. Tiago Assis, hi teacher, thanks a lot. You're welcome. Okay, so what else have you got? I'm doing a quick live stream today. Thank you, Joabi. Oh, Joabi, I know you. Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Joabi, you have to come back on tomorrow. No, come back tomorrow. I was going to say on Monday because I've been saying on Monday all these days. Come back tomorrow. It's another Portuguese one, but yeah, get back in with it. Joabi was one of the best students that we had in our church courses, and I need to talk to you. Send me an email too, Joab, because next year we're going to be expanding our course in the churches, hopefully, God willing, and I'd like to have you involved as a monitor if you are interested, because you're good. So send me an email, profwillybrasil. Rapafa is here. Welcome, Rapafa. Good to see you, Raquel. Okay, what are your questions? Where am I from? That's a good question. I am originally from Seattle, Washington. I was born in Seattle. I was actually born, when I was born at home, which is not normal in the United States. I was born at home, and the actual place where I was born is now part of a part of Seattle that became a new city. It's called SeaTac. If you Google it, you will find SeaTac, Washington. And SeaTac is actually named after Seattle-Tacoma Airport. So SeaTac is where the airport, the international airport in Seattle, is in what is now SeaTac. It used to be Seattle when I was born. SeaTac, and the most interesting thing is that a few years ago, I think probably about 10 years ago, they destroyed a bunch of houses near the airport in order to make a third runway. So they already had 2 runways. They wanted to expand into another runway, and they destroyed a bunch of houses in order to put in that third runway so that they could have more planes landing. And ironically, the house that I was born in was one of the houses that was destroyed to make the third runway. So I wanted to go back and see the house where I was born in and be all nostalgic and everything, but they destroyed it. So it's part of the airport. So I could go take a picture of the third runway, but I guess that would be kind of ironic. I could do that and say, hey, look, there's where I was born on the third runway, although I wasn't born on the third runway. But that's a good question. Tiago, I live in Lisboa, Portugal. Lisbon, actually in English. Lisbon, Portugal, and I'm studying English with your help. Thanks for that. You are very welcome. Glad to help. Send me your email, please, so that we can exchange some ideas. Yes, I did. profwillybrasil@gmail.com. Monica S., good evening. Welcome. I think it's your first time. Happy Teacher's Day. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Jean, thumbs up. All right. Joabi, yes. Hey, how's married life? Joabi. What did I call you? I called you Jody because Joabi's too weird for me. I think I called you Jody in class, didn't I? How's married life, Jody? How's it going? Do you follow any written material to record these classes? These ones I don't. These ones, the live streams are based on my experiences in the classroom, but I do use material for the video classes that you can find on the channel, which I have from the first class up to the 14th class. Those do follow our material that I'm developing that's based on a method that comes from the United States. And so yeah, I do the video classes. I do follow the material that I'm working on, but these are just based on my experiences in the classroom. Like this one, the one that I talked about right now with the gerund. This was something that came up in the live stream yesterday, and also I get a lot of material from our English practice groups in WhatsApp, from the advanced, intermediate, basic, and the speaking group. So I get a lot of material that I do the live stream on this. But this is from my head. Most of these live streams come from my head, or from problems that come up in our classes that I teach. Good evening, Aninha. Yes, Joabi from Acacia. Yes, I remember. Good evening, Aninha. Willie, what is the best way to teach beginners, if you don't mind me asking? I know it's not the topic today. No, the topic is over. So once we get done with the topic, it's all you guys. It's whatever you want to know. If you want to know about me, if you want to know about English, anything you want to ask that's, you know, not improper, then you can ask. The best way to teach beginners. Patience. First, patience. Second, patience. Third, patience. Fourth, patience. Fifth, patience. The best way to teach beginners is have patience and let them think. Because what happens is in our church classes we have monitors that work with new students, and a lot of times they're so anxious to help that the person tries to answer and they try and answer and they get it wrong, and then the monitor just goes right in. It doesn't have the patience to let the person think about it, or maybe, you know, no, that's not right. Think about it again, or give them another chance. So a lot of times it's overcorrection is the biggest problem that I see with people that are teaching new students or teaching beginners. So I would say patience and letting them think for themselves. Those are really, that's the key with new, because like especially someone with your level of English, Victor, you already know, you know, if you have a new student, they're not going to present anything that is going to be hard for you to figure out or hard to explain if they're a basic student. So it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know that. That's not going to be a problem with new students. It's just going to be letting them work things out for themselves, I think is the hardest for a lot of people. And some people just don't have it. It can be a gift. Some people just don't have that gift. And you know, if you talk about someone who is someone who tries to help another person with their homework and they get more frustrated and both people end up frustrated, that's someone who doesn't have the gift. It really comes from the gift of teaching, the gift to be able to let the person think for themselves, help them to think in a way that will get them the answer. Because the most important thing about teaching, in my opinion, is to help someone come up with their own answer and not give them an answer. And I think that's probably the most difficult thing and also the most rewarding thing about teaching new students. So that's that. Lucia Nachi Suarez, welcome. I think it's your first time. Moro em Boa Vista, Roraima. Very good. Lúcia, se você é uma aluna básica, de nível básico, não uma aluna básica, mas amanhã nós vamos fazer live stream cada segunda-feira às 9 horas, eu vou fazer em português, hoje à noite é em inglês. Tiago Assis, I teach English at distance. Would you like to receive my first lessons free so that you can have any idea? Okay, so here we're not going to be doing a lot of advertising for English classes, so just keep that in mind. Hi teacher, good evening, I'm Christian. Hey, I just got back from church. So, me too. Just well done finding a person for me to help improve my English and try conversation. Can you help me? Okay, if you guys can take that to a private place and not work on using our forum for advertising, I would appreciate it. Good evening from Brazil, GPF. I think it's your first time. Welcome. Thanks a lot. It was extremely helpful. You're welcome, Vitor. Eu moro em Brasília, Distrito Federal. Okay. Welcome to the live stream, GPF. Okay, any other questions? I did have, I can't remember who it was, but somebody who was on the live stream yesterday left a message that I should do shorter videos. So let me talk a little bit about that. Why is it that a lot of these live streams, as long as we have people asking questions, the live streams go 30, 40, even 50 minutes, possibly. Okay, Rapafa, I'll speak a little bit slower for you. Monica likes the videos. She's in lesson 6. So why do I do long live streams? Sorry about that. So Jesualdo, you're not going to be able to leave a message for 300 seconds. I asked you not to do advertising here in the group, and you're trying to do advertising. The next time I will block you from the group, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so why do I do long live streams? It goes a little bit into how it is that YouTube works to get their videos in front of people. YouTube, smartly, because they are a business, they want people to watch YouTube the longer the better, basically. The more that you watch YouTube, the happier that YouTube is, because then they can show, yeah, Thiago, you didn't do anything, no worries. So then they can show more advertising to people on YouTube, and that's how YouTube makes money. So one of the big keys to getting your videos seen by more people is what we call watch time, total watch time. So total watch time is the total number of minutes that someone watches your video. And what happens? When I do a long live stream, for example, I'll talk about last night's live stream. Last night's live stream in total, so the live stream was about 40 minutes if I'm not mistaken, and it ended up with 9 hours of total watch time. 9 hours of total watch time. That means everyone, so right now we have Joabi watching, we have Thiago Assis watching, we have all these people watching. If you count each of the minutes that those people watch and add them all up, it came up to 9 hours. That makes it huge. So already, as soon as I was done with the live stream from last night, we had 9 hours of time watched, which means that YouTube then sees that as an important video that people are watching, and it puts that video in front of more people. So I know that some people have short attention spans. They don't want to watch a video that long, but hey, guess what? You can always just turn it off. But as far as I go, I may do some edited videos that are short, but these longer live streams where I try and help people as much as possible, I think are good because one, I help more people, but two, YouTube likes it. YouTube prefers it when you guys watch me longer. And so if I make a longer video, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, even 50 minutes, then YouTube will put that video in front of more people and more people watch it, and then it's good for YouTube and it's good for me. So just to explain, if any of you have that question, that was a question that someone had that they left on one of the videos today or yesterday. So I just wanted to explain that. That's why these live streams are long. But first and foremost, it's because it gives me more of an opportunity to help people, because people can then can ask more questions and that kind of thing. Okay, so what other questions do we have? As I was saying, tomorrow night we're going to do the live stream at 9 o'clock. It will be in Portuguese. Oh, something I was thinking about. Maybe you guys can let me know. If you guys watch this on the replay, let me know down below in the comments. I am considering starting another channel that will be all English. So if I do that, then what I would do is I would leave the ACES English channel in Portuguese and continue with the Portuguese live streams, the Portuguese video classes, and then I would start another channel and have that channel be all English, so that so the people like Tarantine, who's probably going to watch this later, he's not here at the moment, but Tarantine's probably going to watch this later, so let me know, Tarantine, if you like that idea, and that way I will do some videos on the other channel, that videos like this that will be English, and then some videos also in this channel that will be in Portuguese. So let me know what you think about that. If you think that's a good idea, if you'd like to keep them all here, or if you would like to see two channels. That way, if you're focused, if you're to the point where you want to hear just English, then you can stick with the other channel. So that's something that I'm considering doing. All right, any other questions? Thiago says we'll come back for class. Okay, very good. All right, so that's going to do it for today then, if I don't see any more questions. If you would like to see more of these live streams, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel and click or touch on the icon, the bell icon, and YouTube will let you know whenever we have one of these live streams. And also, you will be notified every time that I put out a new edited class. For example, yesterday I recorded lesson 20, and I will be putting out lesson 20 probably on Tuesday, because tomorrow night we will have the live stream. So look for lesson 20 that I recorded in the classroom on Tuesday. And that's one of the things, is those classes that I record in the churches, in our church programs. And also the classes, the video classes, I will be going up to the 15th class, and then I will be stopping those and the rest will go towards the online course that we are in the process of putting together. And God help us, we need him to help us get this thing together. All right, thanks for being here. I'm so glad that you guys could come. Those of you that came for the first time, thanks. What did you say here, Honey? I can understand a little. Good. It starts with a little and then gets a little to a little more, and then it gets to... Sorry about that. Our internet on the weekend is always terrible here in Palmas. We've called and they don't do anything about it. So Rebecca, go ahead. And archaic and is used more for measurements. So for example, I could say I'm more or less 6 feet tall. Using the American feet and inches, I am more or less 6 feet tall, which means I'm about 6 feet tall. And actually, more or less has taken a back seat or is less used than terms like about or around. Now, today you can hear people say it's more or less 6 feet tall, but generally we use more terms like it's about 6 feet tall or it's around 6 feet tall. So, or it's, you know, this book is about 200 pages or around 200 pages, which means that it is more or less 200 pages. So more or less is actually a term that has become a little bit archaic, it has become a little bit archaic, but it's still used, but it's not used nearly as much as it is taught to Brazilian English speakers. It's something that most of my students that have some kind of a base, have some kind of a foundation in English, they come saying a lot more or less, they use more or less a lot more than we actually use it. So it's one of those things that would be understood, but it's not used as much as it used to be. So Rebecca, I hope that helps. Let me know. Go ahead and leave a message after I end this if you have any more questions, Rebecca, about that. Thanks for being here tonight. Make sure you check us out tomorrow night, every Monday night at 9 p.m. Brasilia, I sound like an American. Brasilia time, so horário de Brasília, 9 o'clock. I will be back in Portuguese to answer your questions. Go ahead and write down your questions, get them out. Get them ready for the live stream, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, study hard and don't give up. See you tomorrow.